All right. We've got this book, You Owe You, Eric Thomas. We're breaking that down on today's episode. We're also going to dive into this quote from my guy, Jay-Z. You guys know Jay-Z? We're going to talk about that. I think we're also going to share some stories about Donald Trump. Oh my gosh, dare I say his name? Stan Lee, Walt Disney, George Foreman, Milton Hershey, and more. We're also going to maybe do a little birthday celebration. I believe one of my 8 children has got a birthday today, so we want to make sure to give a little shout out to her. And then we're also going to talk about some failures. Those moments where we fall flat on our face and what we can learn from them. We got all that and more. Welcome to the 800% Club. I'm super glad you're here. Our job, our role, our purpose, our mission is to help you unlock your full potential. And we're going to do that right here this morning. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to the 800% Club, where we bring people together, equip them with the tools they need to succeed, and inspire you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. It's 5:30 a.m. and that means that it's time to rise, evolve, and make an impact together. Hey, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right. Today is Friday, January 13th, 2023. It's so crazy. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, January 13th, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. Today is also Willow Marie. That's right. Today is Willow Marie's 9th birthday. I'm like, hold on. All right. We got the 23-year-old. She'll be 24. And then we've got the 13-year-old. And then we've got the 10-year-old. He'll be 11 in March. And then we've got, she was 8. Now she's 9. My other one just turned 7. That's correct. Yeah, she's 7. And then I've got a 4-year-old. She just turned 4 in November. And then I got a 2-year-old, just turned 2 like 14 days ago. And I think that's all of them. I'm pretty sure. So, right, you really have to think about it. When you're in a position like mine, you really got to think about it. You're like, oh my goodness. All right. Who's how old, right? Because you don't want to mess that up, right? So what I do is I just started, like, because I don't want to fail at remembering the very important days of my children, and because I don't want to fail at that, I joke with them all the time, right? I joke with the kids all the time. I'm like, oh, man, you ain't got a birthday. Nah, when's your birthday, kid? Come on. What? You're how old? You're how old? Like, I joke with them all the time so that they don't know the times that I actually do forget how old they are or whatever their birthday is, right? So shout out to Willow Marie. She's really an incredibly sweet girl. She's made a massive impact in our lives in a very, very, very short amount of time. So today is also her birthday, Friday, January 13th, 2023. I'm coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. That's right here in Lexington, Kentucky. And we are in the middle of a series called You Owe You. You Owe You. Ignite your power, your purpose, and your why. This is a book written by Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in the world. And Mr. Eric Thomas, or the reason we're reading this book is actually part of our Morning 5 planner. So I've got this Morning 5 planner. This is something we put together 4 years ago, and we've been putting it together every year since. And what's amazing about the Morning 5 planner is there's a lot of things, right? It's a place for your gratitude, place for your goals. There's also a quote that's at the top of every page that is submitted by actual members of this community, people that you can connect with, get to know better, so on and so forth. And it was interesting, right? Because the quote today, it says, use today. I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. The quote today is from Tracy. Tracy's a part of our community. I'm assuming she's probably listening right now. She's on here pretty much every day. But the quote says, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. And what I find so ironic about that quote is just yesterday we were having a conversation about yesterday's show. And I can't remember if it was Tracy herself or someone else that actually quoted that. Said, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. And so I love that. I think the timing is just incredible, right? Because we were talking about literally just that. And so the timing on these quotes is always amazing. They always hit. But my point was, one of the perks of the Morning 5 Planner is not only do we wake up every day and attack our day, not only do we connect through the quotes, but also every month we read a book together. So this planner has 12 book recommendations, and we read the book together, we discuss it together, we do all the things that we're doing right now. And this month's book was the book You Owe You by Eric Thomas. And it's one of those tools that we use together so that we can unlock our full potential, right? Listen, if you're not reading, you're limiting your ability to reach the levels that you know you can reach. And I get it, dude. I get it. I was not a reader. You're like, I don't like to read, man. I just don't like to read. I can't do it. I fall asleep, whatever. Listen, if you get sleepy when you're reading, A, you're reading at the wrong time. You're not in an energetic space to consume the information. B, a lot of times it's because you don't understand the words that you're actually reading. You see, I learned this a long time ago. I finally learned how to learn. I learned how to learn, right? See, that's the problems with our schools today. They want you to learn, but they don't necessarily teach you how to learn. And one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that if we don't know the definition of a word, when we're reading, if we do not know the definition of a word, our mind will actually get hung up on that word. Now, we can continue to read past it. We can continue to change the pages. We can continue to go to the chapter, but then we'll look back and we'll go, oh, wait a minute. I don't even remember what I just read. My guess is that's happened to you. Drop that down in the chat over on Clubhouse. Drop that down in the chat over here on Facebook if that's happened to you. You've read something, you're at some point, and then all of a sudden you stop and you're like, I don't even remember the last 4 paragraphs. I don't even remember the last 4 pages. I could not tell you what I just read. Drop that in the chat if that's ever happened to you. Normally that comes from not understanding the definition of a word. Now, the same can be true about the tiredness. You see, when we're reading and you don't understand the definition of a word, you'll typically like yawn, right? You'll yawn because you're expending this extra energy mentally. So it can be very, very draining. So these things keep a lot of people from being readers because they never teach you that, hey, if you signal a yawn, if you notice yourself getting fatigued, if you realize that you don't remember what you just read, you have to go back, find the word that you're hung up on, look it up in a dictionary on your phone, wherever you want to do it, and define that word. Slow down and get the definition. And then once you get the definition of the word, then you can roll on. That's how you learn. So listen, I'm just telling you, man, you got to be a reader if you want to be a leader, not just of other people, but of yourself. And so we read these books together. And this week, we've been breaking down You Owe You and talking about really how important it is to have a clear vision for your life. How important it is to really think about and get a full understanding of what your purpose is in this lifetime. And listen, I'm telling you, if you think your purpose is to be born, to go get a job, to pay the mortgage, to have the car note, and to die, That's not it, man. That's not it, man. You got to be kidding me, right? Like, that's not it. You were called to a magnificent existence in this lifetime. A magnificent existence in this lifetime. And so in the book, it talks about having a clear vision for your life, a clear understanding your purpose. It talks about stepping out of your comfort zones and ultimately the hard work that is required in order for you to be truly impactful and successful. Yesterday, we went deeper and we talked about becoming a triple threat and not just being a businessman, but being a business man. We broke down the principles, the very principles that exist and have existed for thousands of years that we can attribute to success in all areas of our lives. You see, we've covered a lot this week going through this book. But here's my question. What if you put all the pieces together? What if you got the triple threat part? What if you got the purpose part? What if you got the vision part? What if you put all of the pieces to the puzzle together and you still fail? And I mean like flat on your face, like epic miscue kaput, I freaking blew it. Then what? That's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, you know what you got to do on this show, ladies and gentlemen. You know what you got to do on this show. Come on now. Let's do some dancing. Here we go. Let's do some dancing, folks. Wherever you are in the world, I'm going to need you to get that body in motion. Listen, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. It is time for you to get rocking and rolling. It's time for you to get moving this morning, get moving and shaking. And there's no better moving and shaking than a little dancing, baby. We were called to dance. I got all these babies, man. I watch these babies. These babies start dance. Babies start dancing before they can talk. Babies start dancing before they can walk. Dancing, baby. There's something about the movement to the music, connecting you to the frequency of the room. It's powerful. So get up. If you're laying in bed, I'm gonna need you to get up. What's up, Stro Snyder? Great to see you this morning as well. This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way we start our day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. And sometimes all it takes for you to help somebody change the way they start their day is for you to hit that share button. Alexander Perry said he's dancing in the front yard. I love it. Let's go. So if you're on Clubhouse, hit that share button right now. Share it out. If you're over on Facebook, make sure you hit that share button as well. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching on replay, say what's up, I'll say what's up back. Liddy Paul, great to see you this morning. Tony Schmidt, what up, girl? Great to see you as well. Mevin Rodriguez is in the building. Ricardo Govindansami is up in here. Bella Rigby, what's up, Bella? Stephen Jones in the building. Vicky Everett and Patty Frudenberg. Hi, Patty. We're super glad that you're here. Rick Tamburino is in the building. Debbie Dowling Waba. What up, Debbie? How you doing, Russell Hill? I'm glad you're here. I see Lena is in the building. I see Sharon is in the building. Tariq. What's up, Tariq? I'm so glad you're here. Mindy's here as well. William is in the place. Ramona and Yvette, great to see you. Core Element is the man. You guys got to make sure you connect with that guy. His music's incredible. Jimmy's in the building. Frank's in the building. Shannon and William and Aisha. I see Yui is up in here. Tori and Mary Kim. What's up, Chima? Great to see you as well. Tom and Dr. Fred are in the building. Tony Thorstad. Sol Salcido. Tarika Simmons, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bill Broussard, I'm glad you're here. Kevin Faley, what up? Thanks for the quote yesterday. Peter O.N.G. Peter Ong, I'm glad you're here. Gail Beecraft and the Twang Sisters are up here in the building today as well. Sean Weatherby's up in here. I'm loving it. Judy Anderson, Jean is in the building. Nisa and Robin, Christina and Jessica. What's up, Christina Howard? How you doing, Antonio, Patricia, Damie, my boy, Pastor Jeff. That Stars Tina with the new profile pic, looking amazing. How you doing, Stars Tina? I'm so glad you're here. Lolita Walker just came up in the building too. She is a powerful, powerful force. Mrs. Lolita. Valerie Oakley's up in here. Trisha Rue. Natasha Smith. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for joining me. I love sharing this space with you. Now, I'm here Monday through Friday for 30 minutes. But now we also have our 800% Club Facebook group. If you are on Facebook, make sure you come join our 800% Club Facebook group. Next week, we're going to start dropping some cool, really cool, exclusive content over there. So make sure that you're a member of the 800% Club Facebook group. Would love to have you there. Website for that is facebook.com/group/800%. That's right, facebook.com/group/800%. I want you to go check that out. The other thing I do want to share with you this morning, because we're really excited because we just launched it this week, is we now have a way for each of you, whenever you go out and buy a car, truck, used or new, you could actually buy those vehicles from members of this community right here. We have 160 dealership rooftops across the United States and Canada. And now we have a website, shop.800eliteauto.com. That's shop.800eliteauto.com. If you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, just head there, and that's going to connect you to the closest 800% Club dealer in your area, right? Whoever's closest to you, go buy a car from them. You're going to get that VIP treatment. You just walk in, you just say, hey, I'm a part of the 800% Club, and I'm here to buy a car. And they're going to be like, let's go. So you officially have a friend in the car business all over the United States and Canada. Shop.800eliteauto.com. Don't get lost on that website. And if you have any friends or family members that are shopping for a vehicle, maybe it's not you, let them know they can go check that out as well. Does that sound fair? Fair enough. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling with today's episode. I'm super glad you're here.
Overcoming failure. Listen to me. If you're successful in this room, you've reached any level of success, you know that failure is a part of it. It's the ego that gets in the way when you look at failure as something negative. Failure is just a way, some say, to try it again, but to try it differently and try it better. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean quit, give up, poor me, overthink it, stop, say I'm not gonna do it, woe is me. That's not what it means. It means that you did a great job, but you didn't execute. Everybody say it with me, execution is worship. Come on, execution is worship. Listen to me very closely. Nobody is gonna fire you if you execute. People fire you if you try hard and don't execute. No, people come here and tell me, I worked so hard, but you didn't execute. I don't pay you to work hard. I pay you to execute. I pay you to execute. I pay whatever I'm paying you for. If you're doing marketing, I pay you to make me look good and bring more clients. If you're not doing that, I gotta let you go. And if you're doing exactly what you did 4 years ago, I gotta let you go. Because we should be getting better every year. Failure is not a strike against you. Failure just means you're doing something wrong and you're doing something right, but you're not doing enough right, and you need to figure out what you're doing wrong, and you need to make the adjustments so you can execute. Nobody's firing people who execute. People are firing people who try. People are firing people who put forth effort, but nobody's firing people that get it done. I want you to write that down for me. And the level of execution, what percentage would you give yourself? I execute 70% of the time, 50% of the time, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, 100% of the time. Write that down. I execute. Watch this. The year Tom Brady went undefeated. The year Tom Brady went undefeated, 16-0. what happened when they got to the Super Bowl? They lost the Super Bowl. You think the owner was like, we went undefeated, but we lost the Super Bowl. It's okay, guys. That same year, the Giants went 10-6 and didn't win their division. They were in the wild card. But they won the Super Bowl. Which one you think they won? 16-0, or you think they won the Super Bowl? There are those of you who are 16-0, but you're not executing. When it counts, when it matters. And you get upset because you go to your supervisor, you go to them and you say, but look, I went 18-0, but you didn't win the Super Bowl. I'd rather for you to go 8-8 and win the Super Bowl. So I want you to be honest, write it down. What percentage? I need 3 or 4 people to be honest with me right now. We got one more, I need you to be honest with me. Who is not executing at 100%? No supervisor's gonna say, you know what, I just feel so sorry for you. You're letting your doubt get in the way. Makes my heart warm. I'm just being real. They're not gonna say that. Do they care? They might care. But in the capitalistic side, you gotta execute. So, all of us in the room who dealing with doubt, get it fixed quick. Go to a counselor or get a coach. But if you know you're doubting, fix that as soon as you can. Okay, there was somebody else. Be transparent with me. Why aren't you executing more? I let details get in the way. That's why I hired Moose. I don't even try to do details. That's not my thing. It's me right here. You cut the mic on, I'm good. You start doing paperwork, I'm here. I just shrink with paperwork. It's just not my strength. So I take some of my money that I make and I hire somebody who's good at details. And I actually make more money by letting him do what he's great at, and I do what I'm great at, and what a wonderful combination. Make sense? Good, I need one other person on this side. Yep, right here in the back, yep. Ooh, Netflix. Ooh. All right, that's one. They got a lot of options on Netflix, right? But watch this. Netflix is a real thing. The movies getting caught up. I never watched movies until the pandemic. And one of them I was watching, I think it was Ozark. I don't even watch movies. And I watched Ozark and I was binge watching. What are you doing? I was I gotta see the next one. And my wife was like, let's do one more. I was like, that was 4. We've been here for 4 hours. We don't read our Bible for 4 hours. We don't even go to church for 4 hours. What are we doing? I was like an addict. Ozark. My wife said to me the other day, did they come out with season 4 yet? I'm like, I don't know and I don't care. Right? But that's real. But here's the deal. Why would we know we have something that's keeping us from the American dream? Let's get rid of all those distractions, go get help. And then once you blow up and you a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, whatever you want to be, 6-figure earner, whatever, then you have time to go watch all the Netflix you want. As a matter of fact, you can invest some money into Netflix and get every time you watch it. Now you know what I'm saying? S&P 500. I don't know if Netflix is on there or not, but you can invest in Netflix. And every time you watch it, you're making money. Does that make sense? But when we're average, we don't think like that. Let me say something to you. There are enough great and phenomenal people in this room who want to help you become phenomenal great. Listen to me very closely. When you get to a certain level, I'm not being disrespectful, you might be in the back, I don't mean any harm, but I just know historically, I used to sit in the back when I wasn't an A student. I kind of started coming close to the front when I became an A student. When you get to a certain level in your life, you only want to pour back into people.
So failure's been woven into us from the get-go, right? From the very, very, very beginning. As babies, we're basically, completely clueless on everything. And the only way that we can start to learn, to grow, the only way that we can evolve is we try things. We fail to put the circle in the square hole, or we fail to stack the tower more than 3 blocks high. And so failure is woven into us from the very beginning. As we grow from toddlers to small children, we learn to balance or walk on beams. We cut our hands or burn a finger on the stove. Our daughter Willow, whose birthday it is today, she's now just figured out a back handspring. She's been doing that. She's been working. She's been failing to complete a back handspring for a year. But she finally got it. She showed me and her mama just the other night. It was amazing. You see, failure's woven deep into us as we go into our teenage years. We fail as we reach out and try to build relationships, as we try new jobs, as we try out for sports teams. It is through the failures that we grow and that we evolve. I remember watching my son Joel when he was 5 years old. I remember we put a basketball hoop in the driveway and he was out there throwing that ball up over and over and over, and he couldn't even get close to the rim. I had it on the lowest setting. He couldn't even get close to the rim. He just kept pushing it up. And it was cold outside, man. It was like 35, 40 degrees out there, and he just kept pushing it up. And I was like, bro, I got to go in, man. I'm freezing in here. I'm going inside. He's like, I'm staying out here. And he just stayed out there, and I watched him through the window just throw it again and throw it again and throw it again. He wasn't even getting close. Just throw it again, throw it again, throw it again. And after 2 hours of standing out there in the cold, he made his first basket. Fast forward 5 years later, I get to coach him in basketball, and he's one of the stars of the team. Those failures, those fall down moments where you fall flat on your face, where you had the vision, you had the purpose, you had the plan, you had the strategy, you had all the things, and yet you epically failed, should be celebrated. You know, it's interesting. They have the statistics show that the average millionaire files bankruptcy 3.5 times. I'm going to say that to you one more time. The average millionaire files bankruptcy 3.5 times. They're taking chances. They're taking risks, and they're falling flat on their face. If you don't believe me, Donald Trump. Bankruptcy twice, as a matter of fact. Stan Lee. Bankruptcy. Walt Disney. Bankruptcy. P.T. Barnum. Bankruptcy. George Foreman. Bankruptcy. Milton Hershey. Bankruptcy. You see, failure is something that's not to be feared, but ultimately should be embraced. And I know it's contrary. Seeking failure, I totally get it. It's not what we want. We don't want to go 16-0 and lose the Super Bowl. But I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you this weekend. This weekend, I want you to make a failure resume. Like, for real, a failure resume. I want you, just like you would if you were going in for a job, right? You apply and you list all your accomplishments and everything that you've exceeded and all your skills and so on and so forth. I want you to make a resume like that with all your failures. Just write them all down. And this year I failed at this. This year I failed at this. I failed. Maybe it's I failed in my relationship. I failed in my marriage. I got a divorce. Maybe it's I failed as a parent. I lost my cool. I lost track of my emotions. I mean, golly, I'll be honest. My son Fisher, something about Fisher, man. He's got this little peanut head, and for some reason, he's just one of them kids that you just kind of want to smack him on the head every once in a while. He looks at you a certain way. He says things a certain way sometimes. And so it's not just, it's like the whole family. For some reason, there's just something about that kid's head. What are you, son? What are you saying? I have to resist smacking my son on the head. I have to resist it because his head is so, I don't smack any other kids on the head. But he said something to me the other day, and I was just like, it just came out like, just smacked him up against the head. And it's sometimes we fail as a parent. Maybe it's you've failed massively when it comes to money, financially. You made a huge mistake. I know all about that, man. The bigger the failure, the better. Whatever it is, I want you to write them all down. Put them all on your resume. Maybe you failed to follow through on your fitness goal already this year. It's January 13th. You're like, dang, man. Can't believe I've already dropped the ball on this. Right? The bigger the better. I want you to write down, list all your failures. I know a big failure of mine that I would put on my resume is there was a bank error in my favor and they put $10,000 in my bank account. That wasn't mine, and I knew it wasn't mine. And I went to another branch. I drove 2 hours to another branch, pulled the $10,000 out, took that $10,000 to Las Vegas with my friends, and bet it all on a horse race. The way I saw it, I would win the horse race, put the money back in. This was over the weekend. They'd never know the difference. Instead, I lost all the money. And my mother, my poor, embarrassed mother, had to go sit down with me in this bank. And in order to keep me from going to jail, my mom had to sign on a loan. She had to take out a loan and pay back this $10,000 at $200 a month, whatever the heck it was. Like, there's a lot of things that I've done that I'm not proud of. My guess is the same is true for you. But see, these are all lessons in life that we can now use to fuel us moving forward. You see, that scenario I put my mom through, I guess that was 20 years ago, was the fuel that made me so passionate about buying my mom a home. My mom now lives mortgage free. My mom lives retired in a life where she gets to spend a lot of time with my kids and with us. And so it was a struggle, man. It was tough. She was hurt. But if we don't have the failures, we can't evolve. We can't learn. We can't grow. So listen. You owe you. So I want you to take responsibility. I want you to take responsibility for your own success. I want to challenge you to go out there and to be proactive about your life. To set huge, massive, incredibly inspiring goals. And then most importantly, take the actions. Execute. Execute at home. Execute at work. Execute spiritually. And keep track of the failures to remind yourself how incredibly powerful you are, how resilient you are. That you're alive, that you're growing, that you're going somewhere, that you're tapping into the most magnificent version of yourself that you can possibly be. Listen, you can do this. You can do this. I believe in you. You absolutely can do this. You see, you are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below average, the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And the only way to get there is through taking some risks, through challenging yourself, through continuing to evolve far beyond your years, your experience, and your imagination. You see, friends, I love you. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. And it is out of love that I challenge you. Take control. Take responsibility. Set the goals and execute.
yesterday. Got that old feeling that I know. In the dark of the night, I'll be alright. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. A sea of messages overtaking what I know. A war is a whisperer, and it's coming for my soul. In the dark of the night, I can see the light. The sun will arise. 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 When I was broken, you came and set me free. I was searching for someone to fight for me. I'll remember it's your light that shines on me. I won't be afraid, I will look to the light. I will not be shaken, I know it will be alright. 'Cause you're with me, I know that the sun will rise.